any other developer, then it will be like it will ask you to change the port, and by default it will go and it will have the 3000 and by default is the 3000, and if it is getting means creating port for you, so it can be 4 digit only, but it can be like 3001, 3002 like that. And if you see in the console, we are getting one warning because this logo has been imported, but it is not being used over here. So that's why you're getting this in the this one. Now let me go and remove that. And save. Now to create the component, and component are the building block of your and this React. So whatever the page you're creating, that will be the your component, and it can be you can go and you can create the reusable component as well. Means suppose one component it is required to use at the multiple places. So you can go into use that reusable component. So over here, if I go and create the component. So earlier it was the JavaScript based component. Now in market you'll see there are the TypeScript based component as well. So you can go and you can create the component on the basis of your TypeScript. So how we can go and you can do this. So you can do like this app, or suppose I'm creating one. So in the real time also you will observe that everything is created based on the means in a structure way, like we are creating the folders, and under that folders we are creating the our files. So it is easy to maintain, and you can go and you can maintain the file over here. So suppose if I have to go and create the component, suppose I have to go and create over here the components. So I will go and I will create the folder, and inside this folder now I will start creating the components. So suppose over here I can go and I can create home.js. Then I have header.js. Then I have footer.js and home footer sidebar. So whichever the component it is, you can go and you can create this component. And if you see the your this .js extension, so that means it is your JavaScript file. And if you see the extension of our this JavaScript as well, so it will go and it will have the JavaScript extension. But in React, if you're writing creating the component, so it will go and it will have the JX. Or if you see somewhere, it will be like .jxx. So either you can go and you can see the file with the home.js, or you can see the file with the .js. Now when you go and write the same thing with the help of our TypeScript, so the extension of your component will be dot dot tsx. So this is the extension you are going to get. So mostly we are going to work on the our home.js only. Now in our this, if you see some of the default files over here, and there is a component app.component, which will be your root component, and which your file is getting rendered. So there is an index.js file which is getting rendered over here. You can see index.js, and over here they have imported the React DOM, index.cs, which is your global level CSS. You can go and you can write, and then we are importing the app, and this is the and we are taking the root dot get element by root, and that root we are rendering, and you can see app.js is rendering over here. And where this root is present, so it is present in your public, and in go to the index.html. So in the body section, one div is there, and that div is going to have the ID, and that is the your root ID over here. So if you go and see in this, so if I scroll down, so you can see over here we have a div, and that div has the ID, and that ID is the root over here. So div ID and the root. So this way it is rendering over here. It will go and it will render, and where you can go and you can see. So already I told you it will be in the index.js. So root rendering, and by default it is rendering the app.js only. So we'll go and we'll keep as it is, and we'll start creating the component, and we can go and you can call in the main component, and it will go and it will render over here. Now, as I told you, before we used to create the component based on the class, but nowadays functional components are used instead of the our class component. So we'll go and we'll work on the functional component one. So I will inside the SRC, either you can call it the SRC or the source folder. Under this only we'll go and we'll structure our your application. So suppose over here we have the SRC, then I will go and I will create. And if you see in the Visual Studio, we have the four option over here. So first option is to create the file. Just you will go and create, click on this. It will go and it will display like a text box, and you have to go and you have to give the file name, and then the it will create the file. This second option, it will go and it will create the folder. And something if you have gone and if you have added and it is not reflecting over here. So with the help of the third item, you can go and you can refresh the your Explorer over here. Now into the SRC, I will go and I will have the folder, and I can go and I can create components. Okay. And inside the components, I will go and I will create the file. So suppose over here, home.js components. Then another file I will go and I will create, and that is your header.js component. And then we have, suppose, footer.js component I have created. So I have these three components I have created over here. Now I want to go and I want to create the functional component over here. So how I can go and I can create the functional component. So the syntax for creating the functional component is you can go and you can do it in the two ways. One way is the right, you can go and you can use the normal function, and the second one you can go and you can use the class based function. So let me go and create the normal function, and then I will go and I will show you. how it is going to use. So let's go to the creating the function. So I will go and I will show you the syntax, how you can go and you can create. So simply use the function and then you have to use the your component. So over here we have the footer, right? So footer component, then we have the arrow, I mean the parenthesis, and then top and this, and then you have to go and you have to return something from here. And now this function I have created. Function, the name of the footer, parenthesis, opening curly bracket, and the closing curly bracket. Now, if I have to use this component in any of the other component, I need to go and export, right? So how you can go and you can export? So you have to go and have to use the export and default, and then you have to give the component name. So our component name is the footer. So now I have exported over here, export default and the footer. Now I can go and I can consume wherever I want to go and display this over here. Now in this, I want to go and return something. So return, and if you go and if you use single line return, if you want to go and if you want to use, so directly I can go and I can use over here h2 and then footer design, something I have created like this. If you want to go and if you want to create the, if you visit the website of the if any of the website, so they have created the footer with the different languages. So you can go and you can also create that one with the that. Now I have created this. Now I need to go and save the file. And now I want to go and display on the UI. So if I go and run this, so you'll observe that, and it is also running on this. So let me go and, so you can see I am not able to see that one. Whatever the footer I have created, I am not able to see. Only I am able to see React training 5:03 p.m. Now, how I can go and I can do this? So first of all, you have to go and you have to import in the parent. So over here, you have to go and you have to import, and you have to import the footer. So now I have imported over here, and I will go and give one HL, and then I will go and I will call this footer.
So HR is a HTML tag.
Yeah, this is the way of calling the components. So on, as we have not discussed, in this only, in the app.js only, we have to write the our HTML and as well as the JavaScript method inside this one only. And whatever you are able to see on the return, so this is your JXX. So we'll go and we'll talk about that one. How this is getting, means inside this only the HTML will go and will bind the our JavaScript code as well. Okay. The way to display the other component, first of all, wherever you want, you need to go and you need to import, and then you need to go and use as a like this as a closing tag. This is the closing tag. If you see image is the closing tag, input tag is the self closing tag. In the same way, you can go and you can use. Once I will save now this. Now if I go and see the web browser, so now you can see I am able to see all this over here. One. I am able to see the output, right? You can see footer. Now if I go and minimize this, So this way you can go and get display. Now the same way if I have to go and do with the my header tag as well. So how I can go and I can do? So I will just copy this. Just I am showing you the basic way. We'll go through the how we can go and you can create with the arrow function as well. We'll go and we'll see. So over here, header, and then in this I will go and I will write like home and suppose about us, services, course, contact. Okay, then save. And now also you have to go and you have to display this. So over here, header. So how I can go and I can display? First of all, I have to go and input in the parent component. So over here, import header, and on this I am going to write the header over here. Save, and now you can see whatever I have created. I can go and again see over here. This is home, about us, and this one. Now with the help of CSS only, we'll go and make this on the top of. We'll go and we'll create the header on the top. Then there will be a body, and then finally we are going to have the footer over here. So this training will be totally based on the, it's not like totally on the real time, but it will be helpful. Like once we learn this course, you will be able to go and understand the React application, and you can go and you can start working with the React application. But to build the logic, you have to go and you have to do the practice of the complex application, I mean the complex type of task by your own. So already I told you like whatever you used to create means I don't know whether you have the front end experience or not. So whatever you used to create in the front end means using .NET, Java, PHP or anything, you can go and you can use the React to create the same thing with the help of the our React over here. So now we have done over here. So React training 5:30 p.m. home, this and the design. Now you can go and you can use the React app over here. Now one thing you will be see over in this, like in the header, we have to return one tag. So directly we have written return and the tag over here. Same in the case of footer, we have one line. Then we used to return the tag. Now suppose I have to go and return over here the multiple line. So how I can go and I can return. So first of all, you have to go and have to put this inside the parentheses. So how? So it should go and it should maybe like this. And then inside the parentheses, I will go and I will put this over here. Now in this also, if I go and try like this, some other tag like the P. So you can see we are getting the underline red error. And why we are getting this underline red error? Because when I will go and do the mouse over, so it will say that GXX expression must have one parent element. So whenever you are writing more than one HTML tag, you should have the one parent over here. So like suppose parent in the sense I can go and I can write over here. I will go and I will make the div as a parent, and then I will go and I will put all these tag inside that parent tag. So if you see You can see we don't have error right now. So always if you're trying to return more than one HTML tag means or JSX expression, so it should be inside one parent tag. Otherwise it will go and it will give you the your underline error. Now this div when you give it should be rendered and it should be displayed in your DOM as well. So let me go and display you the DOM. So go to the your this and go into the inspect element and over here now you can see we have the h1 and we have the footer over here and in the footer we don't have one. Let me cancel this and let me save. Now if you'll go and see, so now you can see it is displaying rendering the div as well in the your DOM. So whatever the HTML you are able to see inside this element, that will be your DOM. DOM is the document object model. But I don't want to go and render the parent div. So React provides us the alternative way. And instead of writing the div, I can go and I can write react.fragment. And same thing, I can go and I can write react.fragment. Now once I render this, and when you are writing the React at fragment, so you have to go and you have to import the React. That's why you can see over here, we are getting this error over here. So I will go and I will write import React from React. Save. And now you can see now this H2 and the P, it's not inside any of the our parent div. Means React.fragment we have written and that is not getting rendered in the our DOM over here. Now, either you can go and you can write react.fragment, or you can go and you can do the shorthand of this one, and that you can go and you can do like remove this and remove this as well. And I can go and I can make it this save, and you will be able to see the same output. So either you can go and you can write like this. So this will work as a your parent element, and under that you can go and you can create the component. Means whatever the your UI you want to go and you want to create, you can go and you can create under that. Instead of writing the div, you can go and you can do this. And this is the fragment over here. So let me go and make this and format the selection. And now it will be one, it will display like this. So this is the one scenario. While writing your JX6, you have to go and you have to make the parent element under all the child element will be get this. Till now, do you have any doubt?
No, I'm clear.
Okay. Now, if you see, we have written this function footer, then the parenthesis, then opening curly bracket and the closing curly bracket. And again, we are writing export default and the footer. So instead of writing this last line, what I can go and I can do, I will go and I will comment this. And over here also, in only I can go and I can write. So let me go and show you. Export default function. And it will go and it will work as it is the way we have done it in the previous. So instead of writing, like if you go and see on the net as well, so you'll go and you'll get like this export default footer or any of the component to why we're doing the export. So wherever, suppose if I have to require it in any of the component, I can go and I can import. So for that purpose, we are doing the export over here. And so instead of doing in this, we can go and you can do in the same line. So it will go and it will reduce one line of code in our any of the component. Or suppose if you forgot, so it will go and it will throw the error, right? So if you go and follow this, so here only you have done the export. So you don't require to go and do at the bottom of the your component. So you can go and you can change this to the all the our components wherever we have done the export at the bottom, and then we have doing this. So this is the one way of writing your function in the your React component. Now you can go and you can use the our arrow function as well. With the help of the arrow function, you can go and you can do it. How we can go and you can do it? Same thing. So I will go and I will do the same thing. Whatever I have done over here, same thing I can go and I can do bottom. So simply you have to go and you have to use the const keyword. Okay. Then you have to use the footer name of the component, and then you have to go and have to use is equal to then parenthesis. Then this is the arrow symbol, and then you have to go and have to use the your opening and the curly bracket. And inside this, you have to go and have to use this whatever you have written over here, return and the this you have to go and have to use over here. So copy this, and you can go and you can. So this will go and it will work as it is. Now
So
when you go and yeah, tell me.
what is the benefit of using this arrow function instead of that export default?
No, no. These are the two ways you can go. Whichever you prefer, you can go and you can write. These are
Okay.
the alternative way of writing the same thing in two different ways. So this is the const. If you like the syntax, you can go and you can follow this approach. If you like the syntax of top one, you can go and you can follow the this approach. Okay.
Okay.
And when you go and use this way of writing arrow function, then you cannot go and give over here export default. Then you have to go and you have to write this last line. Okay. So whenever you are following the arrow way of writing the functional component, so at that time you have to go and you have to follow this way of writing over here. And it will go and it will give you the both. So let me go and comment the first one, and we'll go and we'll see the second one output. Okay, save, and you can see it's compiled successfully, and we are able to see the output. If I go and refresh the page as well, I'm going to get the same output. Okay, did you got it?
Yes.
Now, if you want to go and pass the value from one component to the other component, so we have the concept of props. I can go and I can pass the value from one component to the our other component. So suppose this footer we are using in the our app.js. So if you see in the app.js, let me go and explain this. Let me. I have over here app.js. I am using this footer. If I have to go and pass some value from here, so I can go and I can pass like suppose text or name. Okay. And in this name, I want to go and I want to pass the val. So how I can go and I can pass the value to this name. So we have to go and have to use the suppose name is equal to then opening and the closing and some value you have to go and have to pass. So either you can go and you can declare or directly you can go and you can pass. So suppose if I have to go and declare this one, so whatever the things you related to the JavaScript if you are going to do, so you have to go before this return because in the return we are using the JXX. So all these things will be written on the top of this. So suppose over here I am writing like const and then suppose full name. I have created one variable and then I am writing over here Peter Smith and now this full name I can go and I can get over here inside this I can go and I can pass the full name. Now if I have to go and get the value of this, so either I can go and I can get inside, so let me go and do it. I can go and I can get inside as a props, so props props and then I need to go and do the console to see the props value. So console.log. So in JavaScript, we use the console.log to check the values. Okay. Save this. It's compiled successfully. And now if I'll go and do the inspect element, I can go to the console of this one. So in console, you can see name Peter Smith I am getting. And I will explain you why this two-time rendering is doing for the same thing. I will go and I will explain you. During the development, you will go and you will get this. But once this code will be deployed to the prod, this one-time rendering will be happen. But when you go and do the this rendering locally, so it will be get printed for the two times over. Now, if I want to go and print this value, so how I need to go and print? So props dot name. So this is your key, name is your key, and whatever you are seeing on the right hand side, it is the. So now if I have to go and render this, so simply I can go and I can render over here. So suppose hyphen, and I'm writing this single quote, and I can write over here props dot name. And if you go and see the value, now you can see the value over here. I am able to see the value of the props.
So basically, what we are doing over here is we are passing the value from
From
any
one component.
one component to another component. Correct.
Yes.
Okay. So
Now
this
there
is the
is a
way.
requirement. Yeah. Now there is a requirement to pass the value from the to the other component. So you can go and you can pass that value. Now, if you observe this as a real-time example, so when you go and see any of the product, so it will be card type, right? It will be product will be of card type. It will be like this. Your whenever you go and open any of the e-commerce website, it will be like this. Product with image and some details. It will go and it will display like this, right? Now, once you go and click any of this card, so it will go and it will give you the details about that product, right? So now suppose this is my component where I am displaying like the product. This is the my product component .js. One minute. One minute. Let me put charge. Otherwise, this meeting is also going to close. So tomorrow you'll connect, right?
Yeah,
Tomorrow,
yeah.
okay. Okay, because meeting will also go and connect in the 2 minutes. So tomorrow I will go and I will start from here and I will
Oh,
explain you in details how the generally the props is going to work. In real time, I will
okay.
go and explain you. So generally, like when you go and click on the products, it will go to the your product details page, a component, and in the product details component, based on the product ID, it will go and it will fetch the data from the database, and it will go and it will display how you have designed the ebook. Okay,
Oh,
so I will go and I will
oh,
explain all this in our tomorrow class.
okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And I will share this recording. Just share your email ID in the chat, in WhatsApp
Oh,
chat. I will share the both the recording.
oh, sure. Thank you.